They're living in cow sheds, buses, lean-tos, caravans, overcrowded situations, and sadly it's getting worse.
The government wants everyone to have a warm, dry, safe home. But that's something that's out of reach for so many people here in Kaitaia and across the far north. The National Māori Housing Network got $15 million in the coalition government's first budget, and in August, the government hosted a Māori housing finance wānanga, but there's no sign yet of the dedicated Māori housing unit Labour promised before the election. We're heading into town to meet Ricky Houghton, who has helped home hundreds of people in the region, whether in emergency housing or a place of their own. His He Korowai Trust builds and runs the Whare Ora rent-to-buy housing development on the outskirts of Kaitaia. He reckons the situation in Northland is so bad, he asked the previous government twice to declare a state of emergency, which they wouldn't do.
The housing situation for Māori is at its lowest levels of all time in terms of the trend of home ownership. There's no rental accommodation available. Do I think that the Labour Party's going to deliver? I've personally talked with the Minister. He has offered the promise of help. I'm excited that I even have that sort of dialogue from up here in Kaitaia. I'm grateful for it.
What's the significance of turning 50 acres of European land into 50 acres of Māori land?
We've wanted to develop a Māori model that was quite different to the other models that are out in the market there. So self-sustainability is at the front of everything Whare Ora represents. We're not selling houses, we're selling homes.
Rosalina Rehana lives in Whare Ora with her young family. Her road to secure housing hasn't been easy. As a young mother in Auckland, she got caught living with her partner while receiving a benefit and was sentenced to home detention. She used the time to start a home hairdressing business before making the huge decision to move north.
This is my room, where no magic happens.
What's your story?
I guess I wasn't really all together when I moved up north. I kind of came up here to find kind of solace for me and my kids. I went through a bit of a rough time in Auckland and felt like I needed to move closer to my roots.
So you own this place?
Not yet.
Not yet, but
no.
In a few
but
years?
I will, yeah. You've got a 3-year probation in the house, which is basically to help you get all your debt sorted. You have a budgeter at the trust, which helps you stay on track. And that's just so that you are financially able to go forward and apply for your own home loan. So the whole kaupapa of this place was that we could all become self-sufficient, which means dairy farm. So we'll have our own beef. We've got our own community garden, and there's little projects we're going to be working on, like getting our own pigs for our scraps, chickens for eggs. It's really just a community effort so that we can all dig in and all kind of look after each other and try and cut the cost of living.
If this is what we do with a little support, just try and imagine what we could do with a lot of support.
What specific help could the government give?
This is my wish list.
Give me your wish list.
This is my wish list. Okay then, I would like government to support the trust by funding us over longer periods. I mean, you can't get funding beyond 3 years. So if you go out and buy a capital asset, a minimum of a 20-year mortgage, but you're in 3-year funding cycles, it's very hard to commit given the investment that you have to make. I will personally go out. I've done it. I've mortgaged my house on more than 2 occasions to help provide what you see around you. But that will only do so much. It's going to take all of our efforts. There's no silver bullet. As far as I'm concerned, the solution's not going to come from a hole in the wall in the middle of Kaitaia. They're not going to come from Wellington. They have to come from us.
Ricky isn't the only one still clinging to the dream of home ownership for his people. After years of steep price rises, the Auckland housing market is finally starting to level out, and there's massive demand for the government's KiwiBuild scheme, with more than 40,000 people registered and counting. But although about 8,000 KiwiBuild homes have been announced in the region, only 18 of them have actually been built so far. On our next stop, we'll meet a young family who have already secured their place on the great Kiwi property ladder. We are going to meet Pranav and Monik Biela, who a few months ago astonishingly managed to buy their first ever home. Now, this home isn't quite a home yet. Right now it's just a construction site, but they've got pretty big dreams. But Auckland's overheated market nearly destroyed that dream.
Hiya.
The problems we faced was, first of all, it was lack of knowledge. We thought it was just like, okay, this house is in our budget, and okay, cool, we'll go and have a look. But then we just lost out on maybe like 10 or 12 deals are actually putting an offer and losing out, and then
Were many offers accepted and then you lost out?
Yeah, a few of them
there
were
was
accepted.
There was one accepted out Gleneden actually. Everything was fine, bank approved it, and then the last step was the builder who had to do the give us the builder's report. Turned out it was just a massive leaky house. Really? Like it had like 40% moisture. That was just really disheartening because
40% moisture.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was just like water seeping into the walls there, and we had already imagined of where the furniture will be and everything. It's crazy.
Do you feel like the government is doing enough to help people like you?
Kiwi Build came 2-3 months ago.
We tried in Hobsonville.
We did
as well.
try in Hobsonville, yes.
Yeah.
But even though it sounds good and it's affordable, there's only 200-300 houses which are going to be allotted for 20,000-30,000 people. So there's 19,000 people who miss out. So that's another thing to watch out for. But then also saying that it's affordable when it's like a two-bedroom house for 600,000. I mean, that is absolutely not affordable. Like, people can actually buy a house for less than 600,000. For a young person who is trying to get into the market, getting a debt of more than $500,000 is ridiculous.
But you must be stoked you've got your little slice of heaven, huh?
Yeah.